38. Matson, in partnership with the Guam National Olympic Committee and Guam's delegation to the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, Biba Team Guam. Cars Plus Hyundai, home of the Kona electric vehicle, an electric heart with an SUV soul. Test drive yours today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Now on Primetime, a bill that would increase the RISE Act payments for those eligible went up for a public hearing this morning. Plus, Frank Guzman has been sentenced to life in prison for the death of a 73-year-old man. And KUAM News gives you an update on the removal of a man-made tire reef over at Cocos Lagoon.
Hafaday and good evening, everyone. A bill to raise the RISE Act payout amounts went through a brief public hearing today. Senators are fast-tracking the measure to possibly get it on the agenda for the next legislative session on Monday. This as they continue to try and pressure the governor to get those payments out.
2536.
The bill by Senator Jim Moylan would raise the payouts from $800 to $1,000 for individuals and from $1,600 to $2,000 for couples. If it does make it onto the agenda, Moylan has indicated he will add a series of amendments, such as removing the $30 million cap and ensuring that everyone who's eligible gets paid. Those are all issues that drew support from the lone person to testify, military veteran Adam Drillon.
The governor won't call for an emergency session for the legislature so that changes can be made to the All Rise Act. Why? PUA funds stop in September and our economy is far from recovery. I would say that getting these funds out to the people of Guam punctually is an emergency.
He adds that keeping a cap on the payouts will just pit people against one another.
Because essentially what she is saying, if she doesn't remove the cap, is that not every individual and family deserves to get paid the full amount of the All Rise Act. A first-come, first-served basis? Are you kidding me? You might as well throw your people in a cage and ask them to fight and kill each other, and the ones left standing get paid.
Drillon also decries what he believes is the divisive nature that's being created.
This is the overall tone I'm getting since this administration took office. Government comes first, and then the people come last. The government versus the people. And that's not how government works, and that's not how and why government was created. If anyone thinks I'm just bashing the governor for no good reason, well, I voted for her. So I believe I have the right to be critical of how she is running her governorship and how it all affects the people of Guam and the future of our beautiful island.
And sponsor Moylan says Drillon's testimony is representative of the hundreds who have signed a petition, called, or emailed in support of the bill.
If we do not make the noise, if we do not stand up and fight, if we do not raise our voices, if we do not address our opinion, we wouldn't be here today.
Senators will hold another public hearing on Thursday. It will focus on a second fast-track bill that also seeks to amend the RISE Act.
The man who murdered LSP construction owner 63-year-old Pyung-Sik Lee was sentenced to life behind bars. Frank Joseph Salas Guzman was convicted following a change of plea hearing this morning in Judge Alberto Lamorena's courtroom. Guzman admitted to intentionally killing Lee, who was found unconscious in front of his Harmon business on February 19, 2019. According to court documents, Guzman was high on drugs when he confronted Lee, claiming he owed him money. Guzman beat Lee with a baseball bat and stabbed him with a knife. He then stole his car. Prosecuting attorney Sean Brown explained that although Guzman will serve a life sentence under Guam law, he will be eligible for parole after 15 years. Guzman must also pay $23,000 in restitution. And he hasn't officially been extradited to Guam just yet, but drug defendant Andrew Manabusan is scheduled to be arraigned before federal magistrate judge Michael Bordallo on Tuesday, August 3rd. In June, the 37-year-old Manabusan was picked up in California, where he allegedly mailed a package containing more than 3,600 gross grams of meth to Guam. The person who reportedly received that package was former police officer and former DOC officer Jose Ananich. Ananich was also arrested in June, but his case was sealed. He was released from DOC earlier this month. And over in Washington, Governor Leon Guerrero met with the principal assistant to the Navy Secretary, Undersecretary James Gertz. They discussed her plan for a new hospital and support for continued funding of the Guam defense system. According to a news release, the governor also raised the idea of establishing a 3D printing plant here, which could help increase military capabilities and lower costs, while also helping Guam's economic growth and diversity. Meanwhile, she also met with Marine Corps Commandant General David Berger. The governor raised concern over the recent increase in H-2B visa denials. General Berger committed to working with USCIS on a review of the issue as it relates to national security. He also acknowledged a slowdown in the military construction timeline, but said DoD remains committed to the full completion of marine buildup projects. And even as the governor was meeting with military brass expressing support for a Guam-based missile system, the Missile Defense Agency was directed by Congress to provide more details on a missile defense architecture plan for Guam. The House Armed Services Committee sought the information during a markup hearing for the fiscal year 2022 National Defense Authorization Act. The House Strategic Forces Subpanel has been asking for the report for several years on what type of threats could be engaged. During earlier hearings in D.C., Indo-PACOM leaders touted Guam as a vital part of the Pacific Deterrence Initiative, which includes the basing of an Aegis Ashore system on island. The system is meant to provide a 360-degree defense shield against potential Chinese aggression. In environmental news, Tyler Matanani has an update on the removal of the man-made tire reef in Cocos Lagoon.
The project to remove the man-made reef, composed of nearly 2,500 repurposed tires, is almost complete. The Guam Environmental Protection Agency, along with Unitech and Mr. Rubbishman, collaborated in the effort. And after nearly 3 weeks of work, approximately 1,500 to 1,800 tires were extracted. Not all of the tires may be cleared, however, because as KUAM previously reported, as divers went deeper, so did the tires in the sand. Guam EPA's Nick Lee.
This was not meant to be a dredging project, so we're not going to be able to get heavy equipment down there and extract, we're not going to be going down in an exploratory mission and extracting tires that may be well below the sand. So that's going to require a whole different set of regulations that we would even have to follow if we're going to take on a dredging project.
Nonetheless, Lee says the project has been a great effort with what the contractors have been able to remove. All that's left is the preparation of the tires for off-island disposal.
The environmental monitoring and analytics program manager has been very active with projects, so including site visits to both Unitech and Mr. Rubbishman to observe the tires being cleaned off and observe them being chipped down in the tire shredder.
The idea of the reef was to repurpose the tires in the hopes of increasing fish stock and allowing coral growth to thrive. However, not only was it ineffective, but it also posed a threat of chemical leaching and disrupting other marine environments. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matanani.
We're going to take a short break and be back with more news. Don't go away.
Social distancing may be the new norm, but connection will always be our tradition. Through good times and tough times, we remain connected with you. Masks may be the new fashion, but protection will always be our style. You can always count on us to protect the things that matter the most. Sanitizing may be the new routine, but caring will always be our practice. We care about your loved ones and the things you value the most. And as we welcome our new normal, one thing remains certain: we will always be here for you. We're open and ready to serve you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Summer is here, and at Cars Plus, we have the perfect Jeep for your summer adventures. Whether you're going off-road or just getting ready to hit the beach down south, make this the summer event you find your Jeep, like the 2021 Jeep Wrangler or the 2021 Jeep Gladiator, equipped with Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Call us at 477-7807 or visit our website at carsplusguam.com to schedule a test drive today. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Just wash it later, bro. Or ask your mommy to do it for you since you still live at home.
Yeah. I don't even know how to do my own laundry.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. As of Wednesday morning, Guam was just a little over 300 shots shy of achieving herd immunity. The governor has held firm that she won't restore the island to PCOR 4 until we reach an 80% adult vaccination rate. Meanwhile, Guam National Guard Task Force Medical Commander Captain Denise Chargaloff said they've seen an increase of residents making their way to the UOG Fieldhouse COVID-19 vaccination clinic. But despite the slight uptick, Captain Chargaloff is still pleading with the community to do their part.
First of all, to get vaccinated, I think that, to help protect the overall island population, right? So that's something that everyone needs to be thinking of. It's not just, me or you, it's all of us together, right? So we all need to make sure that, we're taking our fellow islander into consideration when, we're weighing the pros and cons against getting vaccinated. For those that are due for their second dose and haven't yet made it out to get that done, we are open until Saturday, July 31st. From 12 to 5:30 each day this week. We will also be at the Micronesia Mall on Saturday, July 31st from 11 to 6. So there's plenty of opportunity for everybody out there who is due for their second dose to come and get that done so we can reach that 80% herd immunity.
Walk-ins are welcome, but appointments are encouraged. They can be booked online at the Eventbrite site at tinyurl.com/VaxGuam. As a requirement of receiving millions of dollars in federal funds, the GDOE's Federal Programs Office is hosting the Consolidated Grant and American Rescue Plan. Superintendent John Fernandez said the purpose of the workshop is to brief educational leaders and personnel for public, private, charter, and post-secondary institutions.
We are having in-person meetings with these representatives to go over the rules for the use of these funds, and make sure everybody is aware of the federal accountability measures that go along with these investments.
The workshop will be held Thursday and Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Sheraton Laguna Guam Resort. And it appears that the Superintendent of Catholic Education is siding with some charter schools in opposing a bill that will mandate that their teachers receive the same certification as Guam Department of Education instructors. KUAM's Isaiah Uggan has this report.
Bill 161-36 was proposed by Senator Amanda Shelton on behalf of the Guam Youth Congress, which would require all teachers employed at Guam charter schools to be certified by the Guam Commission on Educator Certification. The original charter school law allows them the freedom from the regulations that govern traditional public schools currently. Dr. Juan Flores, Superintendent of Catholic Education, weighed in on the bill. He said in an interview on The Link that he does not support the piece of legislation.
There's no doubt that certification assures that there are some supports for making sure that teachers in the schools have the background, the knowledge and skills to be teachers. But I have to tell you that many of the teachers in the Catholic schools are not certified, and yet we still have students being successful in the Catholic schools.
Dr. Flores continues with his concerns.
Most of the research in the introduction of the legislation referred to information provided from the 1990s, And most of that research might be out of date because that was when charter schools were just starting.
He suggests the bill should be reviewed and looked into.
Is there actual data showing that the certification of teachers in charter schools is a contributing factor to the success of the students in the schools? Because that's the bottom line, right? And can charter school students continue to perform at least at the same level as other public school students, even if the teachers are not certified?
Recently, Guahan Academy Charter School and iLearn Academy Charter School voiced that they are not in full agreement with the bill for a number of reasons. Some of the concerns are certification will be cost prohibitive, charter schools will not be able to pay certified teachers accordingly, and it may affect their hiring authority. Reported for Guam's News Network, Guahusi Isaiah Ugin.
Blame rising fuel oil prices for the increase in power bills. That's what GPA General Manager John Beneventi told Chamber of Commerce members today during their monthly meeting. He went through a detailed presentation of the fuel surcharge known as the LEAC and how GPA has tried to hold back rate increases because of the pandemic. Beneventi also briefed the business group on the timeline for the new 198 megawatt power plant in Dededo. He said the original completion date of October 2022 has been extended.
We've successfully negotiated for it to be completed by April 2024. Our target is November 2023, but no later than April 2024. So that's the key change. And then, of course, the conversion of PD. Cabras 1 and 2 retired after the new power plant, 6 months after the new power plant comes on the line.
GPA is under consent decree with the U.S. EPA to complete the new plant or face heavy fines for violations of the Clean Air Act caused by the other plants. The new plant will burn low sulfur diesel and could eventually use natural gas. And the island's two largest medical organizations are joining forces. The Guam Medical Association and the Guam Medical Society announced they are merging. The GMA is led by Dr. Tom Shea, while the GMS is led by Dr. John Titano. The groups will now host joint meetings and work together to ensure they continue work on healthcare access, retention, and recruitment of healthcare providers. More importantly, they say they want to provide continuing medical education, community service, and advocate to protect patient access to care. Guam patients seeking specialized care at St. Luke's Medical Center in the Philippines will now have a much easier time getting into the country. The Philippine government has approved the hospital's plan for a medical bubble to facilitate the entry of patients from Guam and Micronesia. St. Luke's president and CEO, Dr. Arturo de la Peña, says they will arrange to pick up patients right upon arrival at the Manila airport.
They will be brought to the hospital together with their accompanying person. The accompanying person will be billeted in our hospital hotel, free of charge. And those patients would undergo consultations, executive checkup, or will undergo certain procedures. They will be admitted directly into the hospital.
Patients and escorts will still be subject to quarantine at St. Luke's. The hospital has also arranged with the local Philippine consulate to fast-track the entry visa process. Patients will need to coordinate with their doctor, health insurance carrier, or the St. Luke's local office, PhilMD. You can watch the full interview with Dr. De La Peña later this hour on our In Full Zoom segment. Dave Delgado is next with sports. Keep it right here.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
Do you feel like you're missing out on something? Make life more rewarding with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points for bill rebates and free load at IT&E, discounts on fuel at Shell, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. You can even pay with Pacific Points at IT&E, Shell, and Foodies. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
It's gonna look a little different in here. Your favorite spot might not be exactly where it used to be. Being next in line might feel a little less like next in line. And our smiles might come with a little extra shine. But McDonald's is ready to take your order as safely as we can.
KUAM News, in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau, brings you the Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase. Look out for this powerful symbol for visitors, island residents, and industry workers alike, as it represents establishments with a consistent global commitment to safety practices. Stamped with approval by the Guam Visitors Bureau and the World Travel Tourism Council. Every Monday on KUAM News will feature a different local business who's taken the Safe Guam and Safe Travels pledge to maintain health and safety standards to get Guam back on track. Log on to visitguam.com to see how your business can receive the designation, what businesses in our community are Guam Safe certified, and have the WTTC Safe Travel certified.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. I'll get to some youth basketball and some drifting highlights in just a bit. But first off, news on this year's Trench Challenge. Check it out. Trench Challenge is back. Guam's obstacle course race for adults, and Trench Kids, an obstacle course race for children ages 4 to 13, will take place at the Guam International Raceway in Jigo on August 14th and 15th. To abide by the current restrictions, the event has been split into 2 days with staggered start times and limited participants. For Trench Challenge, there are 5 different categories to choose from this year: competitive OCR WC qualifier elite division, competitive 3-person challenge, recreational division, Special Olympics charity run, and uproar fitness competition. Trench Kids has 5 different age divisions to choose from: 4 to 5, 6 to 7, 8 to 9, 10 to 11, and 12 to 13-year-old sprint. The top 3 boy and top 3 girl finishers in each division will be awarded. Packet pickup is scheduled for Thursday, August 12th and Friday, August 13th from 11 in the morning to 7 p.m. For more information, find Trench Events on Facebook and Instagram. Visit trenchevents.com or email info@trenchevents.com. Turning over to some basketball, 14 under U from the KFC Youth Circuit. Imperials taking on the Agana Heights Heat. Agana Heights controlled the boards and picked up some easy scores inside the paint off some putbacks. Nijo Navarro led the way for the Imperials with 8 points. The Heat led 19-15 in the third quarter. Imperials with some costly turnovers late in the game as the Heat were able to extend their lead with takes to the basket. Up 21-15 heading into the fourth quarter, James Serio hits the tough shot. He finished with 4 points for the Imperials. Agana Heights player Joseph answers with the bank shot the other way. The Heat win 29-23. Javen with the reverse lay-in off the missed corner 3-point attempt for the last score of the game. In other news, what started as a very wet and raining morning transpired into a wonderful overcast but dry afternoon at the Guam International Raceway's oval track, which hosted round 3 of the Pro Line Drifting Championships. For this round was a tricky figure 8 layout that presented 5 total clipping points. 8 drivers went head-to-head to battle for podium placement and put on a fantastic show for the spectators. Von Burrell scored the highest in qualifying, but it was Matt Pilarka that made his way to pole position, with Burrell taking second and Carl Dumasic defeating Jasper Leong to take third. Round 3 of the Pro Line Drifting Championships were brought to you by Upshift, and the Kang Tires is presented by Napa Auto Parts. Valvoline, with special thanks to Fastenal, Hoffaday Signs, and Jones Media.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
only gets better with more. Customize and save with the fastest internet speeds in the Marianas by adding mobile, phone, and TV to your bundle with Business Bundles Plus. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
And before we close out the news tonight, here's our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
It is Wednesday, July 28th, and that is a very happy birthday to Dre Leonidas, a very regal name. Ew, all right. Dre turns 5 today. This is Sparta! And you are getting love always from your Guam familia. Now, Dre, maybe when you're a little bit older, you can watch the movie 300. Trust me, it's awesome. Vicky Guerrero, another day of blessings for this beauty of a soul. So happy birthday, Mom, Vicky. And we celebrate you every day. That's a lovely shout out. Good job, everybody. Happy 3rd birthday to Natalia Joy Nalikat and to my granddaughter. We love you. Hope you have a blessed day. Love from Grandma Jenny, Uncle Donald, Mommy, baby sister Natasha, Nina Jerry, and the family. And they say we enjoy your day. And happy birthday to our not-so-little rascal, Tegan Paul Camacho Francisco. We love and miss you. Nini, Nino, Zai, EJ, and Elijah are sending their love and birthday blessings all the way from the North Pole. So hope each and every one of you had an amazing birthday. Today's your day, and we celebrate you because you're our neighbors, our family, our friends, and you are awesome Guamanians and today's birthday celebrants.
And you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Just register online on KUAM.com. That's our report for tonight. Thanks for watching. Have a great night, everybody.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E.
Half day, everyone, and welcome to another edition of In Full Zoom. I'm Nestor Lecanto, and I'm pleased to welcome our guest for this week. He is Dr. Arturo de la Peña, who is the president and CEO of St. Luke's Medical Center at Bonifacio Global City. I'm sure quite a few of you have been there. Doc, welcome back to Guam. Nice to see you.
Good afternoon, Nestor, and good afternoon to all of those watching your show.
Thank you. And first of all, let's talk about what everybody's been talking about for the last year and a half, the COVID pandemic. How is it going in the Philippines, first of all? And how is St. Luke's Medical Center adjusting?
Well, we did a lot of adjustments during the last year from March to December 2020. And as of now, as we talk now, we're almost 95% back to the normal of the pre-COVID days in our operations. The number of cases of COVID patients being admitted into the hospital, there were 2 surges. One was on August last year, and then there was another surge last March. And so far, when the vaccination program has been started, especially for the National Capital Region, this was associated or accompanied by the reduction in the number of COVID cases being admitted into the hospital. As of now, it has decreased by about 60%. Only about 30% as compared to last year's admission are now presently admitted in both Global City as well as Quezon City. So it's the net effect of the vaccination program. So as a matter of fact, for the Philippines, before the year ends, we have a lot of vaccines coming in, especially up to the end of July and mostly in the entire month of August. And when we institute the vaccination programs, when all of these vaccines come in, by our estimate, by late November or early December, we might be able to vaccinate about 60% of the general population. So we're nearing being able to get or attain hormonal immunity, herd immunity in the country. And hopefully that will check on the transmission of the COVID infection in the country.
That's good news. Good to hear.
Yes.
How specifically has St. Luke's had to adapt? Your frontline personnel, what sort of protections, and patients that you see, what sort of protections?